start a new lesson. Another poem from the same textbook, Flamingo. The title of the poem is Keeping Quiet. And as usual, before we move on to the main lesson or the poem, let us first do the quick pre-reading. We'll use the same technique. So what does the title suggest? So the title is Keeping Quiet. So when you read this title, what comes into your mind? What does the title say to you? What does the title suggest about the poem? So if you have this question in your mind, then it will give you a track to try to find out what the poet is talking about in this poem. The second question that you might think is, what is self-introspection? This question comes from this part about the poet. So when we read about the poet, so we are surveying, right? As surveying. When we survey the part which is about the poet, we learn that the poem is written by Pablo Neruda. Okay, and Pablo Neruda is the pen name of Nepali Ricardo Reyes Santo, who was born in the town of Parral in Chile. Okay. Neruda's poems are full of easily understood images which make them no less beautiful. He won the Nobel Prize for Literature in the year 1971. In this poem, Neruda talks about the necessity of quiet introspection and creating a feeling of mutual understanding among human beings. So this is given in your textbook, and now we are doing a survey of what is given in the textbook. So from this short information about the poet, what we learn is that in this poem, in this particular poem, he talks about the necessity of quiet introspection. So here the key word is introspection. So it is important for us to understand what introspection means. So because of that, we will also have to think about this. What is self-introspection? What does introspection mean? Okay? And creating a feeling of mutual understanding among human beings. This is what we are given here. And it also says Neruda's poems are easy to understand because they're quite simple and they're full of beautiful images, but they have an underlying deep theme which we need to understand. Okay, so the next important question that comes into our mind is, what is the poem about? Okay, so these questions will lead us to the deeper understanding or clearer understanding of the poem. Okay, so now let us move on to the synonyms of introspection. Okay, first let us do the synonyms of introspection. We have that word in that short information about the poet. Okay, synonym means words which have similar meaning. Okay, so some of the synonyms of introspection are: first, contemplation; second, reflection; third, meditation; fourth, soul searching; and then self-analysis, heart searching. Okay, so these are all synonyms of the word introspection. Okay, contemplation, reflection, and meditation are simple words. Then we have soul searching, self-analysis, and heart searching, which are compound words. Okay, so these are the synonyms of the word introspection. Okay, if these are the synonyms of word introspection, then what is the meaning of introspection? It is important for us to understand what introspection or what does introspect mean. Okay, so the meaning is important. What does it mean, introspection? So the word introspection means the examination or analysis or observation of one's own mental and emotional process. So this is the meaning, and all the above words have similar meaning. For example, heart surgery, self-analysis, soul searching. All these means examination or observation of one's mental state or the emotional process. Okay, so same applies to the other words. For example, when you do meditation, you are concentrating on one subject or one thing and trying to analyze that, observe that, examine that. Same thing happens with reflection and contemplation, deep thinking. Okay, so introspection means that. And as we have read in that short information about the poet, in Keeping Quiet, the poet talks about that self-introspection. Now that again poses one question into our mind. Okay, and that question is, why is it important for us to introspect or to do introspection? Okay, so that will lead us to the outline of the poem. So if you know the outline of the poem before you read the poem, then it will also help you in understanding the poem better. So let us talk about the outline of the poem. So here, Pablo Neruda in this poem has emphasized importance of introspection. Okay, why does he do that? Introspection means self-analysis, self-observation of the emotional and mental process. Okay, so why does he want us to do this introspection? Man has become very selfish and his own actions cause him many miseries. So this is a known truth now, known fact, that we have become very selfish, self-centered. We have started thinking about only me, I, and us, not about we. So because of that, our actions also have caused so many miseries, not for the others, also for the self. And that is very much true about nowadays. The coronavirus is spreading because we don't care so much about others. We only care about ourselves. For our own selfish, small things, we do not follow the regulations, rules and regulations that are given to us by the government. So because of that, we are causing so much misery and suffering for not only to the self but also to the others because of this selfishness. Okay, so that is why he wants us to introspect. The world today stands divided by the man-made boundaries of caste, creed, race, religion, language, culture, nationality, and geographical divisions. This is important for you to understand. Today, the whole world is divided by the man-made boundaries. So all these boundaries are made by man, not by nature, and not maybe even from God, because sun shines all over the world for everybody in the same way. So we have made these boundaries. And what are these boundaries? Caste. For example, in the name of caste, everybody is divided. We do not think about we as whole humanity, which His Holiness the Dalai Lama emphasizes. But we say he belongs to this caste, so I have nothing to do with him. And then creed, race, I belong to Tibetan race, so I do not care about this and that race. That is the present situation, which is very, you can say, sad. That happened due to the death of that black man in USA. Same thing is happening there. Then religion, language and culture, all these are boundaries that divide human beings from each other. And then we also talk about nationality and geographical divisions. All these are made by man, human mind. Because if we look deeper into things, everything is same. All the human beings are the same. So this is what he says. Because of these divisions, we create so much suffering for the self as well as the others. Okay, so we need to rise above these shadow lines. So he says these boundaries are just shadow lines. If you actually look deeper into these things, they do not exist like the shadow. Okay, and look at the larger picture. We need to look at the larger picture. That is, we are all human beings. His Holiness the Dalai Lama emphasizes that again and again, that we are all same. Okay, look at the bigger picture. The poet talks about the necessity of creating a feeling of mutual understanding among human beings. And what is that mutual understanding? That we all desire happiness. And we also do not desire unhappiness. So in that way, we are same as a human being. And we need to respect each other. To remain happy as well as to make others happy. That is what he says. We need to create a feeling of mutual understanding among human beings. Okay, so that everybody can enjoy life and create happiness for all the others. So that this is what he talks about in the poem Keeping Quiet. Okay, now let us move to the first stanza. What does he say in the first stanza here? Okay, so he says, now we will count to 12 and we will all keep still. For once on the face of the earth, let's not speak in any language. Let's stop for 1 second and not move our arms so much. Okay, so when you read this poem, what comes into your mind? What does he say in the first 2 lines? Now we'll count to 12 and we will all keep still. Why does he say this? What is he asking us to do? He is asking us to count to 12 and keep quiet and motionless. So the poet urges each one of us to count up to 12 and then be quiet and still. Still means motionless, without any movement. Don't make any movement, just stand still, motionless, and count up to 12. So what is he asking us to do is try to introspect, look deeper within us and try to understand what is the nature of human beings. The poet might have used the phrase count to 12 as there are 12 hours represented on the clock or as there are 12 months in a year. Then why does he ask us to count to 12 and not to 100 or 1,000 or 50, like something like that? Why does he ask us to count to 12? Because 12 here is symbolic. He has used a symbolism, okay? Symbolic of the measurement of time. 12, as it is written here, represents the 12 hours of a day, or 12 months of a year, or the 12 numbers which is displayed on a clock. So he wants us to count to 12 maybe seconds or minutes and get ready to meditate or do self-analysis or introspect. How? By keeping quiet and standing still without any movement. Okay? He might have wanted the people to keep still as long as they could. Okay? So usually our attention span is very short. So maybe he is asking us to keep still and quiet for 12 seconds, that is the longest time that we could do, as we are not used to standing quiet for a long time. For once on the face of the earth, let's not speak in any language. Okay? Let's not stop for 1 second and not move our arms so much. So what should we do in that silent movement? Not movement, movement. Okay? So he says, let us not talk. Let us not use any language, because if we use language, then it creates kind of barrier between humanity. So if we do not we do not speak in any language, then it will unite us, unify us in the moment of silence, because then there will not be any boundaries of language. Because if we speak in any language, then it creates division, as I said. If I speak in Tibetan, those non-Tibetan speakers will not understand me, and that will create a kind of gap, distance between us. So that let us be united by that silence. Okay? So he wants a moment of silence on the earth when no language is spoken, so that all of us will feel connected, united in the moment of silence. So, in this particular situation, the silence is that language, common language, which we can understand and which we can share with others. In this way, there will be no language barrier between people, as I said. We will be brought together, because then the barrier of language, that I do not understand this language, I do not know that language, that thing will not be there. No harsh words will be spoken. So when we use languages, we use harsh words, and these harsh words act as deadly weapons which create so much tension, stress, hatred between people. So if we do not use any language, then harsh words will not be used. And as a result, then there will be kind of connection, peace between people. People will not get hurt. In this moment of silence, the poet doesn't want anyone to move their arms. So another thing that he wants to do in this moment is for every one of us to remain still, motionless. Maybe this is difficult for many people. Okay? And the poet says we should not use our arms and not move our arms. Here, arms is used again as a symbolism. Okay? It has two meanings. Arms may mean the literal arms. Our arms, he is asking us not to move our arms, stay still without using our arms, because when we speak or whenever we do something, it is the arms that we move the most. So he doesn't want us to move our arms. Keep them still beside us. Why? Because when we move our arms, it distracts us. It does not allow us to pay attention. So if we do not move our arms, then we can concentrate on what we are thinking. So he is asking us not to move our arms. Okay? And another meaning of arms is weapons. Okay? So he is also saying that we should not use weapons, destructive weapons, so that there will be peace. If we do not use weapons, then there will be peace. So what he is implying here is that human beings should think about the consequences of wars, battles, and the use of these arms, weapons, which create so much death, destruction, and misery in our lives. So he is telling us to think about this. So that is introspection, self-analysis. We are analyzing, or we are examining the consequences of all the actions that we do in our life. He wants us to remain motionless, okay? So that our concentration will be much, much stronger. If there is physical movement, it distracts our mind. Okay? Let's move on to the second stanza. It would be an exotic moment without rush. Without engines, we would all be together in a certain strangeness. second stanza looks very simple. It would be exotic moment. What does it here refer to? It here refers to that moment when we are sitting quiet, standing, not sitting, standing quiet and still. Okay, we are talking about that. And he says, what would that moment look like for us? It would look very exotic. Exotic means strange. A moment of silence and stillness, motionless, will look very strange for us. Why? Because we are used to so much activities. When we wake up from the morning till the evening, all that we do is lots of activities, and our life is filled up with different sounds, different noises, and we have become so used to this rush and this noise and activities that silent moment and motionless moment would look very strange for us. Okay, so that is exactly what he says. It would be an exotic moment without rush. Okay, the poet feels that such a moment would be an unusual and exciting moment. Okay? It will not be exotic, strange, or unusual. It will also be exciting. Okay. So, those who have not ever tried meditation, if you try meditation for the first time, you will find it quite unusual, strange, and at the same time exciting, because it is a new experience for you to stay silent and motionless and try to concentrate on one point or on one subject. It will be completely an unusual feeling, experience for you. Try that. Okay, so that is exactly what the poet is saying in these lines. So that moment of silence and stillness, motionlessness, will look very unusual, exotic, strange, and at the same time exciting. Without engines. Without engines here means there will be no hurry or sounds of machines to pollute the atmosphere. Okay? There will be no hurry, there will be no rush, there will not be any such kind of activities that we usually engage ourselves with, and there will also be no sound of machines. Engines here refer to the sound of machines that pollute the whole atmosphere. Okay? The sound of machines creates so much noise, pollution in our lives, and they usually disturb our minds to such an extent that we cannot concentrate on our work. So in that stillness, in that exotic moment, we will not be also hearing those sounds of the machines. Because as we have stopped all our activities, even the machines will not be functioning or working. So because of that, we will not hear the sounds made by those engines or machines. And there will not be any sound pollution, which usually disturbs our mind. So because of that, our mind will also be very calm and relaxed. In that calm and relaxed situation, the mind can also concentrate better on what we want to think about. Okay? So it will be a strange and unfamiliar moment with the stillness all around. As we have talked earlier, that moment will be very strange and unfamiliar because there will be stillness, complete motionless, and silence all around. It will be unfamiliar and strange because we are so used to all these hustle and bustles of life, activities, sounds, noise, and once that is stopped, it will look strange for us. In this unusual period, the bones of humanity will grow stronger, get stronger or grow stronger. So he says, in this unusual period, what will happen? The bones of humanity will get stronger. Then only we will be able to connect with others. In that stillness and in that silence, then we will be able to think about human beings as a whole And now in that calm and peaceful state of mind, if we start thinking about other human beings, then our feelings will be filled with love, respect for others. We will start respecting others from other communities that we have talked about, because in a way we are same. So the bonds of humanity will get stronger. Okay, stanza number 3 says, fishermen in the cold sea would not harm whales, and the man gathering salt would look at his hurt hands. Okay, so here he is talking about the feelings that we will form as we think about the humanity and the bond that we share with other human beings. In this moment of stillness and quietness, what will we learn? Okay, what will happen in our life? That is what he is talking about. Fishermen in the cold sea would not harm whales. Okay, so this moment of quietness will help man realize the harm he has been causing to others and himself. So in that introspection, we will try to analyze our own activities, and we will realize that all the activities that we are doing are creating so much destruction to the nature. And as we create destruction to the nature, the destruction is reflected back to us. Some of you might remember having read the poem Rime of the Ancient Mariner, in which at a certain point we have also learned about the kind of harmony that the man shared with nature when the mariners were very kind to the albatross. There was so much kindness, peace, hospitality between man and nature. And so because of that, nature also reacted in the same way by giving them a breeze that made them sail very smoothly. In the same way, here also, Pablo Neruda is also talking about the kind of balance that we need to share with nature. So he says, fishermen in the cold sea would not harm whales. Again, fishermen and whales have been used as metaphors or symbols. Fishermen here are symbolic of man's indiscriminate exploitation of nature for his vested interests. So this is important for us to know. The fisherman is symbolic. Again, he uses a symbolism. That means the fisherman symbolizes the whole human beings. Okay? And the activities of human beings is exploitation of nature, which is indiscriminate. And we exploit nature in such a way that the exploitation is reflected back on us. We also get destroyed in the end. Nowadays, we face so much of natural fury. We sometimes say Mother Nature is angry. Why is Mother Nature angry? Because of our action. We get angry with somebody because of his action. Right? So in the same way, here Pablo Neruda is saying that if the fisherman stops exploiting, fisherman here represents human beings stop exploiting nature, then he himself is going to benefit in the end. And the whales here symbolize the nature. Okay, so you can say fisherman and the whale are symbolic of the victim, and the victim here is the whale and the exploiter is the fisherman. Victim and the exploiter. And when fishermen do not harm the whales, they will no longer be on the verge of extinction. Okay? The whales will not get extincted, and at the same time, because of that, the man himself is going to benefit so much from this. So that there is happiness for both the whale as well as the fisherman. And the man gathering salt would look at his herd hands. This is again important. The men who gather salt have no time to reflect on the pain they are causing to their hands and to themselves. So we are so engaged in the activities trying to get some happiness that we do not even have time to cure the pain that we have on our body. Okay? Reflect on the pain they are causing to their hands and to themselves. In that process, we are also suffering so much, but we do not have time to look after ourselves in that case. But if we stop all these activities, then we will get time not only to care for others, we will also get time to care for ourselves. In his effort to add comfort to his life, man has paid little heed to the pain he has been causing himself. The man gathering salt here is an injured man who does not even have time to care for his own wounds. Now he will have time to tend to his wounds. He will have time to look after his wounds. And his wounds will get healed. And that will save him from much suffering and pain. In that way, he himself is going to benefit a lot with the benefit that he has given to the nature as well. Thus, both nature and humans will be able to recover from their own wounds. We have heard in the past months that nature has started healing because of these lockdowns. We have heard of animals coming out very freely without any fear, and the air becoming clear, and we could see things which we have not seen for decades. In this way, the nature has started healing itself. Why? Because as Pablo Narita had predicted long ago, we have stopped our movements and noises for few weeks and months. And because of that, nature has also started healing. And in a way, we have also healed ourselves, because many of us were able to avoid getting affected by this virus for many weeks. So Pablo Neruda had actually predicted that long time ago. So we can connect ourselves with this poem nowadays. So in a way, we are able to recover from our wounds, as well as we have given time for nature to recover from its wounds. Okay, so we'll stop here for a time being for you to think about these questions. You can talk about them with your parents, or you can write down the answers for these questions. And if you like, you can refer to the video once again, and we'll continue the remaining 3 stanzas. Thank you.